At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field. I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school. Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
What's up, what it do, Cyber World? It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk a little bit about everything. It may be pop culture related, but it's probably Ash Brown related. So you got to stay tuned to see what I'm going to talk about. So today's topic at hand comes to me from one of my wonderful proteges that is blossoming so well out there at Georgia State University. Hi, Tree Tree. But what it comes down to being is you cannot date someone who is jealous of you. I'm like, oh my gosh, Ash, what do you mean? What do you mean they're jealous of you? What does that mean? Exactly what I said. You cannot date and be with someone who's jealous of you because everything will always be a competition. I learned this many, many moons ago. And I learned it basically when I was dating this guy. I was in high school, and oh my gosh, he was the everything. But from the time that we met and every time afterwards, he was always putting down where I was from. And for those that don't know, I am from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Sure am. Been out there majority of my life up until recently. But yeah. And he grew up on the south side of Atlanta, where it's a little rough around the edges. But, it's an honest living. It's an honest place to be. And he was always like downgrading where I was from. And I never looked at it at the time. I was like, oh, he's just being silly. Oh, he's just being. But now, as hindsight is 2020, and I'm looking, he was actually mad. He was actually angry with me for something that absolutely I had no control over. Okay. My family was fortunate enough when we moved from New York, we were able to move to a nice, affluent part of town. It wasn't the fanciest. It wasn't quote unquote the best. Because what is the best? No one's ever specified, oh, well, I think this is the best or that is the best. You think I'm better than you because in your sick mind, I am. I've not once said, hey, I'm better than you, or hey, my life is better than your life. Never said it to him. But he was always very much threatened by where I was from because he was always showing up, oh, where I'm from, the south side of Atlanta, and rah, 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 and woo, woo, woo. Okay. You're from the south side of Atlanta. I'm from the east side of Atlanta. Does that make me better than you? I guess that's subjective to the person. In all honesty, it's subjective. It is what you make it, whatever that may be. But for me, I was just never on that type of stuff, like comparing my situation to others, looking at it a certain way or that way. Because I just was like, I'm just me. Point blank, period. I am just me. And if that is something that you feel threatened by, there is some internal work that needs to be done, sir. And so I was sharing this with my protege. And, it just, everything was a competition with him. And if you're in a relationship where everything is a competition, everything is questioned, everything is a fight, it's like, am I in a relationship or is this a wrestling match? Like, why does everything need to be a debate? That's what I don't understand. I state facts and then you want to debate me on the facts. They're facts. They don't need to be debated because it's what happened. So as time went on, I come to realize that a lot of what he told me was lies. A lot of what he told me was lies. So when we were getting to know each other and stuff, I was telling him, I was born in New York, left when I was young, moved to the South and all this. And then he went into, oh, well, I was born up north as well. Okay. All right. I mean, you could be born anywhere. That's not taking away from the situation. I'm not saying that I'm better than you because I was born up north. I'm just saying this is my story. So if you're dealing with someone who tries to find issue in every aspect of the relationship, of just getting to know the person, you need to run. Run for the hills. Don't look back. Don't stop by go. Collect $200. Go past it and just keep going because it will drive you insane. So 20 years later, we reconnected, and as time was going on, I was enlightened that a lot of what he told me was a lie. Like, he wasn't born up north like how he said. He was born up north. He was actually born in Atlanta. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you lie about something like that? I will never understand how someone can lie just so effortlessly about something that you shouldn't even lie about. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then created this fantastical story. Okay. I have shared on this program the story of my mom's pregnancy with me and how doctors told her it was impossible. She would never get pregnant. The baby would have all kind of ailments and problems and issues and rah, rah, rah. It would just be a terrible existence. Yeah, got it. So my mom had made such a nice little home in her womb for me that I didn't want to leave, y'all. I had no idea. I had no plans of leaving. And I was just going to stay up in there maybe till I was 2 or 3. I don't know. So they actually had to come in and get me because they were like, "Oh, just wait. The baby will turn. The baby will do what." I was that baby in the womb where they were trying to check out and see what my sex was. And I was always crossing my legs. I'm a lady. I'm a lady. You can't look at my stuff. You'll see when I make my debut on the world. You'll see then. So, yeah, I was about 2 weeks overdue. My poor mama. God bless Donna Teresa. She went to the hospital and said, "Look, y'all come get this baby." And so that was the story that I told him because it was true. It was the actual story of my birth. So he comes up with this story, y'all, that I find out later is nothing but complete fabrication. Tells me that he was a triplet in the womb, which, they're not necessarily common, but it happens. People do have triplets. He was a triplet, and his brothers in the womb died at birth, and he nearly died. And he was the only one out of the 3 that survived. And I remember in that moment being like, "Oh my gosh, wow, that is such a phenomenal story. This is so fantastical. Like, wow, like you were meant to be here. Like, what a blessing. Oh my goodness. You know what? Wow." I just was very impressed with the story because I believed it because I had no reason not to believe it. So I was enlightened again. The story was complete fabrication, complete lies. And it was like he was trying to compete with me again. And it's just like, why are you trying to compete with somebody that you're with? If you feel the need to compete with that person, you probably shouldn't even be with them. You probably shouldn't even be, y'all should not even be paired together. And you should figure out some internal stuff, whatever's going on with you, because that makes zero sense to me. And so I tell her yet again. So there were some other things that transpired and happened that were just freaking weird. And I was brought to the conclusion that this person was not only a sociopath, psychopath, and compulsive liar. And the clues, the context clues were there, but I feel as though I wasn't ready to receive them. I wasn't ready to really digest that he was sick. He was a sick puppy. And I took it as a lesson. Because truth be told, the only reason I allowed myself to reconnect with him was because his mother had passed away. And by that point, my mother had already passed. And it was a journey that nobody wants to deal with. No one wants to deal with it. No one wants to have to deal with it. And so that's really the only reason why I decided to communicate with this guy ever again. And I'm so thankful to myself that I allowed myself to do it. Because while I was listening to all his delusions and I let him fully express himself, it furthermore illuminated the fact that this was not someone that I would ever romantically link with again. But also, this is the dangerous type of person that can't even be in my life. That was huge. Y'all don't even understand. That was a huge, huge undertaking for me as far as being an adult now and being honest with oneself and looking at the situation for what it was. And I'm thankful to him for being who he was. I'm thankful to myself for being able to recognize and see who he really was, because ideally the person that I believed him to be wasn't real. He didn't even exist, y'all. Like, that's the part that is so mind boggling, is he wasn't even a real person. He was so afraid of showing himself to me because he didn't even like himself. See, people only hide from things that they don't want others to see. They don't want others to see. And now he's a father, and I can only hope that he's a good father. That's my hope for him, for his family, is I hope that he's a good father. And I hope that he makes better choices and better decisions for his future and for the future of his family. But as far as me, oh no, sweetheart, sweetie pie, honey pie, sweetie cakes. No, we have no further dealings. We have no connection. We have nothing. And I am satisfied with that. I wish him well. I wish his family well. But we have nothing further to discuss. Nope. So that's my little tidbit for the day. But yeah, you cannot be with someone who's jealous of you, because it's not going to work. If you get any inkling of that, just go ahead and save yourself the further trauma in it and walk away. That's it. That's all I got to say for that. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the love and support and all the good vibrations. I've been feeling them. You guys are rocking it. And I hope that you have a great week ahead. A purposeful, powerful, and prosperous week ahead. And I will holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go. When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.